Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to make predictions on what will happen in the 2023 NBA playoffs bracket. The Golden State Warriors are the defending champs, but the current favorite to win the NBA title this season is the Milwaukee Bucks. With so many question marks on so many teams, it seems very difficult to tell who will succeed and who will fail in the NBA playoffs this season. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the 2023 NBA playoffs bracket. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Alright, so let's talk about first round of the NBA playoffs. Let's start off in the Eastern Conference bracket. So there's the 8 seed Miami Heat going up against the 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks. To me, this is going to be a very simple pick to make, simply because the talent disparity between these two teams are very, very far apart, and the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks own the NBA's best record, while the Miami Heat have done nothing but underachieve this entire season. They're lucky to even be in the NBA playoffs to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and say the Bucks in 4 games. Giannis is the best player. I don't see how the Miami Heat even have a defense to slow down Giannis Antetokounmpo. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and say Bucks in 4. So that's that. Then let's talk about 7 seed Atlanta Hawks going up against 2 seed Boston Celtics. I'm going to go ahead and say the Celtics in 6 games. I know that may seem generous, but the reason why I'm saying Celtics in 6 games is because they do have a first-year head coach, while the Hawks have Quinn Snyder as their head coach. Other than that, though, the Atlanta Hawks do not have enough talent to even keep the series competitive against the Boston Celtics. Despite that, I'm going to still say Celtics in 6, so that's that. Then let's talk about the 6 seed Brooklyn Nets going up against the 3 seed Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to go ahead and pick the 76ers in 5. Why? Because James Harden, he can shoot the lights out of the basketball. He's a great distributor. He's a great playmaker. Then there's obviously Joel Embiid, who seems to be the MVP favorite right now in the NBA. Personally, I think that Nikola Jokic should win the award, but a lot of people say that Joel Embiid should win it. Either way, though, this should not be a competitive series whatsoever. The 76ers should be able to at least gentlemen sweep the Brooklyn Nets, if not outright sweep them. Still though, I'm going to pick the 76ers in 5 games. Then there's the 5 seed New York Knicks going up against the 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. These are 2 teams that are generally not in the NBA playoffs, so the fact that one of them is going to end up winning a playoff series, that's going to be pretty special for either of those franchises. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Cavs in 5 games because they do have Donovan Mitchell, they do have Darius Garland, they've got Jared Allen, they've got Evan Mobley. This Cavaliers team has talent. As for the New York Knicks, they've overachieved all year. They've done a great job with the signing of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has stepped it up this year, but even so, I'm going to go ahead and say the Cavaliers in 5 games because of the fact that the New York Knicks are perennial chokers in the NBA playoffs. When they do get there, most of the time they don't even get to the NBA playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and say Cavs in 5 games. That's what I see happening. So that's my side of the Eastern Conference for the first round. Let's go ahead and talk about the Western Conference side of it. All right, so there's the 8 seed Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. I'm going to go ahead and say the Nuggets in 5 games because of the fact that Nikola Jokic is an MVP caliber player, because of the fact that Jamal Murray is a beast, because of the fact that the Denver Nuggets have remained the best team in the Western Conference record-wise since December 15th. There's a reason why they've been dominant in the Western Conference. I see that trend continuing. I'm going to go ahead and say Nuggets in 5 games. There's a reason why the Nuggets have been exceptional at home. I don't really expect that to be much of a difference as long as they split the road games and take care of the home games. This should be a rather quick series. So I got Nuggets in 5, and then there's the 7 seed Los Angeles Lakers going up against the 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to go ahead and say the Grizzlies in 6 games. I know that might make a lot of people angry that I'm saying that, because there's a lot of people that do like the Los Angeles Lakers and are considering them to be dark horse contenders to not only win this round, but to get to the NBA Finals. I'm going to go ahead and say the Grizzlies in 6 games because of the way that they play basketball. They shoot the 3 ball well, they play physical, they're well coached, they know how to shoot the basketball, they know how to defend, they got plenty of guys that can switch. The only thing with the Grizzlies is they don't have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Sure, the Lakers have the 2 best players, but the Memphis Grizzlies play the best in terms of chemistry when you compare it to these 2 teams. The Grizzlies have great chemistry, and they've been together for a good while now. As for the Los Angeles Lakers, this core was just assembled at the midseason trade deadline. Now, do I think what the Los Angeles Lakers did was impressive getting to the 7th seed? Absolutely. LeBron James has been sensational for the Los Angeles Lakers, so has the rest of the team. However, let's be honest here. The Grizzlies, they're the better team. They're the fresher team. They're the deeper team. I'm going to go ahead and say Grizzlies in 6. And there's a reason why the Grizzlies are really good at home as well. 35-6 at home. They own the NBA's best record at home, so you got to give them credit where credit is due there. So like I said, that's why I see Grizzlies in 6. Then there's the 6 seed Golden State Warriors going up against the 3 seed Sacramento Kings. Mike Brown is the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. He's going to be going up against his former team in the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings play very similar in terms of their offensive play calling and their styles that they do play, and they play fast paced. They shoot the 3-ball really well. But despite that, I'm going to go ahead and pick the underdog Golden State Warriors in 6 games, even though they're the 6th seed. You know why I'm going to do that? Because the Golden State Warriors got more experience than the Sacramento Kings got, and playoff experience matters a lot. Do I think what the Sacramento Kings did was impressive? Yes, I think it was absolutely impressive. However, they don't have the playoff experience that the Golden State Warriors got. This team's got Steph Curry, they've got Klay Thompson, they've got Draymond Green, they've got Andrew Wiggins. The thing with the Golden State Warriors is, can they win the road games? That's going to be a question mark for them. As long as they can split the road games between game 1 and game 2, then they should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and say Warriors in 6 because they still win their home games really effectively. So as long as they can take care of business on the road and take care of the home games, this should be a series that the Warriors should win rather comfortably, even though it might be a little bit tighter than what they would probably like it to be. And then there's the 5 seed Los Angeles Clippers going up against the 4 seed Phoenix Suns. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Phoenix Suns in 5 games. Yes, there is a rematch between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. These are 2 former teammates that used to play for each other on the OKC Thunder. Now they get to go up against each other on entirely different teams. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Suns in 5 games because the Suns, they have tremendous star players on their roster. As for the Los Angeles Clippers, they're not going to have Paul George. This should be rather self-explanatory. I'm going to go ahead and say the Suns in 5 games, although if it's in 4 games, I would certainly not be surprised whatsoever. This series should be over rather quickly. I don't see the Los Angeles Clippers really standing much of a chance against the Phoenix Suns. So that's my first round predictions in the Western Conference as well as the Eastern Conference. So that's what I see ultimately happening. Let's talk about the second round of the NBA playoffs. In the Eastern Conference, there's going to be 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers going up against 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to go ahead and say the Bucks in 6 games. Yes, the Milwaukee Bucks have the best player in the world in Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they do have a deep roster, but the Cleveland Cavaliers got dogs on their team. They've got Donovan Mitchell, they've got Jared Allen, they've got Darius Garland, they've got Evan Mobley. They've got guys that can match up against Giannis somewhat relatively well compared to what everybody else in the NBA can do. Even so, though, the Bucks, they just have the best player on the planet. As long as they stay healthy, the Bucks should be able to win this in 6 games. And then the other side of the Eastern Conference matchup in the second round is going to be 3 seed Philadelphia 76ers going up against 2 seed Boston Celtics. I'm going to go ahead and say the Celtics in 5 games because they got Jason Tatum, they've got Jaylen Brown, they've got Marcus Smart, they've got Derek White, and they've always seemed to match up against Joel Embiid and the Sixers really well in seasons past. And whenever they go up against each other, the Celtics typically tend to own the 76ers more often than not. This should be a series that the Celtics should be able to take care of somewhat easily, although Joel Embiid could certainly make the series interesting. And then in the Western Conference, in the second round, there's the 4 seed Phoenix Suns going up against the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. This was a very tough series for me to predict, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the Nuggets will win this in 7 games because Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, should win the MVP and will play like an MVP candidate. And as for the Phoenix Suns, they don't have enough depth to stop the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have been dominant all year. Do the Phoenix Suns have more stars? No question about it. But their depth compared to the Nuggets' depth is not even close. The Nuggets' depth is far better than the Phoenix Suns' depth. And if one of the star players goes out due to an injury, which is known to happen before with these star players on the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be out in the tournament rather early, and the Nuggets are going to sneak by and win a Game 7, and that's going to send them to the Western Conference Finals, as Nikola Jokic will put the team on his back. So Kevin Durant joining the Phoenix Suns midseason will not be able to save him and get them to the NBA Finals this season. I ultimately see the Phoenix Suns winning that in 7 games. Then there's the 6 seed Golden State Warriors going up against the 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. Why am I going to say that? Because the Warriors got Steph Curry, they've got Klay Thompson, they've got Draymond Green, they've got Andrew Wiggins, and although the Memphis Grizzlies do have nice depth and they are well coached, so are the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have nice depth and they are also well coached as well. It's going to be a tough series either way, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Warriors in 7. I'm going to trust experience over young talent, so that's going to send Golden State Warriors back to the Western Conference Finals, despite the fact that that they are the 6th seed. I think that they can be dark horse contenders in the Western Conference playoffs this year. That's what I see happening in the second round of the NBA playoffs for both the East and the West. So in the conference finals, the Eastern Conference matchup is going to be 2 seed Boston Celtics going up against 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks. It's going to be a tough series either way, though. It's been a great rivalry in recent years, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bucks in 7 games because they do have the best player on the planet in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the reason why the Bucks lost this series last year was because they did not have Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton stays healthy by the time that they play against the Boston Celtics in the conference finals, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bucks to win this series. So I'm going to go ahead and say Bucks in 7. That's going to send them to the NBA Finals. And then in the Western Conference, there's the 6 seed Golden State Warriors going up against the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. As much as I would love to see the Golden State Warriors go back to the NBA Finals, and as big of a fan of the Golden State Warriors as I am, I do not see the Golden State Warriors going back to the NBA Finals because of the fact that the Denver Nuggets are really good at what they do. They got one of the NBA's best home records in all of basketball. They got the MVP candidate in Nikola Jokic. They've got Jamal Murray. They've got nice depth, and I'm going to trust the depth and home court advantage in this one. I'm going to go ahead and say the Nuggets will win the series in 6 games, as that will send them to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. So my NBA Finals matchup prediction is going to be the 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks going up against the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. The Bucks are going to have home court advantage if that is the case. And with that being said, they do have the best player on the planet and they do have nice depth. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Milwaukee Bucks to win this series in 6 games, as Giannis Antetokounmpo will win NBA Finals MVP honors. He's going to prove that he is, again, the best player on the planet and that he's going to be able to win 2 championships for the Milwaukee Bucks, which is going to be beyond impressive on his resume. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bucks will win the 2023 NBA Finals, as it will prove that Giannis Antetokounmpo is once again the best player on the planet, while the Bucks are going to be champions for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. It's going to be an impressive run for Giannis Antetokounmpo and Mike Budenholzer. Mike Budenholzer is the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. A lot of people criticize him, but he's done a good job with that team, in my opinion, and he's going to be able to help Giannis Antetokounmpo become a 2-time champion in the last 3 years. So that's what I see happening with the Bucks. So that is why I got the Milwaukee Bucks winning the 2023 NBA Finals, as they will prove to be the best overall team. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.